Good evening and welcome to Channel 8 Sports and East Brunswick High School football. Hi, I'm John Meggiolaro with Jim Allinder and Phil Hill as we open the 1992 East Brunswick High School football season. And guys, we're back again.
Back again.
I don't know how many years it's been, but it's good to see both of you and good to be back doing something we really enjoy. Great. But let's start and talk about football here. East Brunswick, Jimmy, let's start with them. Come off a 3-6 season. We're going to see a lot of new faces that we haven't seen in the past.
That's right. There's been some key graduation losses. Varnell Johnson and Jay Adosio just being two. Varnell Johnson was one of the best players to play for East Brunswick in a long time, but his year is behind him, and East Brunswick enters this new campaign with renewed enthusiasm and an opportunity to do something that an East Brunswick team hasn't done quite a while, and that's win an opening season game.
I was going to mention it. It's kind of strange for us to look out on the field and see a team other than Cherokee.
It's exactly. We're used to seeing orange and white for the last 6 years, and just to backtrack, it hasn't been since 1985 that East Brunswick even tied an opening season game,
right.
And that was against the Cherokee Chiefs. It was Brian Forte's first game in an East Brunswick uniform. It was a 14-14 tie, one of the best games I had ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But since then, in the 5 games after, East Brunswick, even with its great teams that qualify for the playoffs, wasn't able to beat the Chiefs.
Yeah.
They're not on the schedule now. There's been some changes in the GMC alignment, and there's a move towards playing within the conference.
Mm-hmm.
And thus, East Brunswick opens up with a team, Piscataway. That's not to put Piscataway on a second level, because even last year, East Brunswick opened up its home field right here.
That's right.
Losing to Piscataway 28-14.
Right.
So we're going to be going up against a team now that has some outstanding athletes in its own right.
Jimmy, let's go back a little bit and play on that issue about not playing Cherokee, but opening up with a GMC opponent. Certainly after a 3-6 campaign, one, you'd like to see one of your fellow competitors, league competitors, because it has a great impact here. But more importantly, you need to start off well.
Exactly. There's 2 objectives for a football team. That's number 1, to win its conference division, and also to qualify for the state playoffs. And if East Brunswick can win tonight, there'll be a step up in both areas. Number 1, they will be 1-0 in the GMC Red Division. Piscataway is also in the Red Division. And they will also have the power points after the first game, something they haven't been able to do in the last couple of years.
All right, let me get in and talk with Phil about Piscataway, but then I want to get back with both of you guys to talk about East Brunswick and the season upcoming. But Phil, when we look at Piscataway, we think of speed and not a lot of passing.
Well, they might do a little bit more passing this year. They got a junior quarterback, Jason Schultz, I understand, who may have replaced Corey Lowry, who was the quarterback last year. And while passing isn't one of their strengths, they're going to try to put the ball in the air a little bit more, but they do have speed. A Piscataway team has always been explosive, and this year it's no different. They have a young man by the name of Miles Savage. Mm-hmm. Miles Savage, for 55 meters, is the fastest young man in the state of New Jersey. He's a state champ, so if he gets to the outside, it could be problems for the Bears. I think what we're going to see tonight is a matchup with East Brunswick speed. We're talking about Phillips and Varick, who have looked very good during the preseason, and against the linebacking core of Piscataway, which is a veteran core. Everyone is back from last year, one of the strengths for Coach Joe Carani. The Bears, on the other hand, again, are going to have to contend with that speed, which is coming out of the I formation. They use the Syracuse freeze, they call it, which means they can go either way. If they get to the outside, it could be trouble. Anyone who's watched the Bears over the last few years knows that the big plays have killed the Bears. Right. They have to stop the big plays and contain the Chiefs.
Well, certainly not many new wrinkles. I mean, East Brunswick's quite familiar with Piscataway. Piscataway is quite familiar with East Brunswick, but there are some new wrinkles in East Brunswick. They're looking at a different defensive alignment, and let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, as far as their defense is concerned, they are going to do a couple of different things. We're used to seeing Varick and Eric Phillips in the secondary, as Phil alluded to. They're going to be moved up to linebackers, and that's to handle a situation which has burned East Brunswick, as Phil mentioned, the big play. Varick and Phillips are arguably 2 of the fastest players on the team. They're also big, they're bulkier, and they're going to play the outside, and they're going to try to stop, for instance, tonight, Miles Savage from getting to the outside. They have the horses in the middle to handle the inside game. I've been very impressed with one in particular, Ken Molina. We all know him from wrestling. This fella has done a great job in the preseason. He's quick, he's agile, he's got bulk, he's 220 pounds, and he's been able to penetrate and cause problems for the quarterback. They have decent size across the line. Dan Michalski is 278, I believe.
That's all.
And they have also some veteran players. Marty Lucarello in the secondary. I think the secondary is a little suspect because they have some new faces back there. They're not tall, and any team that comes at East Brunswick with a passing attack could cause them some problems. We'll have to see how the coverage is this year. But by and large, I think it has the makings of a good defensive alignment this year for East Brunswick.
Phil, on offense, we've mentioned Varick and Phillips. They are certainly going to be the workhorses. They bring the speed. They bring the experience. Any other thing we can look for?
Habib, young man last year, remember, against Edison, set a school record, tied a school record, that of Steve Hughes and Brian Forte, of 37 attempts in a game. He can throw the ball. He likes to roll out a lot and pick out his receivers. He will roll out a lot. He can run if he has to. So he's going to be very important. Piscataways, again, their linebackers are tough. Their defensive backs, I'm not so sure. If the Bears can get something going there, they can be very tough.
Quickly, let's take a look at the GMC Red Division and the conference and what we can expect this year. I think we were talking last night, the three of us, and I think there was a consensus that Madison Central is the team to beat this year.
Without a doubt. Madison Central is loaded, good size on the line, good players at the skilled position, and they are the team to beat in the Red Division, no doubt about it. And maybe in the state. Mattawan has an extremely tough team themselves, but Madison Central will be right up there. But I also like Cerevel. Last year they got some very Clary is one player that comes to mind. McKinley, the quarterback, very talented, and you got to believe they're going to have a pretty good team this year.
I like to put a plug in for Edison. Everybody's writing Edison off this year. Okay, this is a team that was 11-0 last year in 1991. They are the defending Central Jersey Group 4 champions.
Right.
And you know, when you win a lot of games, it breeds a lot of confidence. And they may have lost a lot of people, but don't write the Eagles off. I think they're going to cause some problems in this Red Division. Piscataway, we don't know too much about them this year, but they expect to improve.
Well, you have Stevens, who's always a tough, well-coached team.
Absolutely.
Perth Amboy has a new head coach. We don't know what to expect from them, but I'm sure they're going to come out and play 60 minutes worth of football. Could be a very interesting season this year.
Sure, and then you got Woodbridge taking up the rear. I hope they don't finish that way, but they're an interesting club.
Well, we here at Channel 8, Phil and Jimmy and myself, we're going to be with you throughout the season, bringing you the highlights and obviously the games that we can from East Brunswick and sometimes on the road where possible. But we're going to take a break now, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Well, we welcome you back to East Brunswick High School, J. Doyle Field, as we get set for the East Brunswick home opener and season opener. And a beautiful night here at the field. Some threat of rain maybe earlier, but it seems to have cleared away.
Still hot and humid. It kind of reminds me, John, of that game we opened up with East Brunswick. Gosh, I don't know how many years ago. It must have been '84. We went down to Brick Township. Peter's nodding yes. He remembers it well because we had a lightning storm that came through. We had to shut down. It was one of the first games I think Mark Harmon played.
Yes, you're right.
Back. But, boy, I'll tell you what, it's hot and humid.
It is that. And as you see out in the center of the field, East Brunswick captains Marty Lucarello and Jim Varick. And while I have a moment, let me identify the officials for you. Our referee is John O'Neill. Our umpire is Red Losowitz. Linesman is Ken Smutko. Line judge, Alex Bagamari. And the clock operator is East Brunswick High School girls coach, Lou Cosa, soccer coach, that is. Well, gentlemen, Piscataway a little late coming onto the field, but they did show up.
They did show up, and I imagine they planned to stay here. We were afraid that they would almost get a penalty, but I doubt if any psychological games are going to be played. The game's going to be played on the field.
All right. East Brunswick has won the toss. They will be moving right to left on your screen in the home green, and they're going to be on offense to start this game off.
And it should be fun to watch them on offense. I saw them last week in their last scrimmage against Port Richmond of Staten Island, and this was a team that fell behind Staten Island by, I think, an 18-12 score and came back to win 28-18. That's a little different wrinkle for East Brunswick, Phil. the ability to come back after being behind. We didn't see that too often last year.
Maybe because last year we didn't see that too often, but they've shown it in the past. Of course, many times they've been in front, so they didn't have to come back. This kickoff will be interesting. Joe Karani talked about, was really very concerned about his kicking game. Said it was one of the weak spots for his Chiefs team.
All right, East Brunswick sends out the return team, and they'll have back deep Eric Phillips, number 32, and number 29, Jim Varick, and they're the two guys they want back there to field the ball.
And I'll tell you, Piscataway taking their time doing everything. The Bears are out on the field. Piscataway's huddled over on the sideline and still hasn't come out into position. Maybe it is a little psychology.
You might recall last year, well, if you went down to South Jersey to see that Cherokee game, Eric Phillips returned the second half kickoff all the way for a touchdown. So he obviously has breakaway ability.
He didn't just return it for a touchdown, Jim. He returned it for 96 yards, a school record. So he's dangerous.
He's dangerous, as is Varick. Big, but he is deceptively fast, and he is also able to break away. So East Brunswick has two quality return backs.
The kicker for Piscataway is number 50, Ryan Linder. We're about ready to get this game underway and start the 1992 high school season for the Bears. Nice crowd on hand. And here we go. Short kick, fielded by one of the up men at the 25-yard line, and East Brunswick will go on offense at their own 37.
And I'll tell you, Joe Karani wasn't kidding when he said he was very concerned about his kicking game. If they have to do that for the rest of the year, they're going to be in trouble. They're giving up good field position right away.
Right, that was Sean Bellis, number 91, who returned that kickoff for East Brunswick.
All right, East Brunswick will have it 1st and 10. Ball spotted at their own 37. Habib is the quarterback. Inside to Varick, and he might pick up one.
Okay, it'll be interesting to watch the play of the offensive line. We'll set them up for you here. Tom Maruja, number 58 in the center, with the guards being Paul Sargent, 77, Mark Lorenzo, number 62, Dan Mikowski, 75, and Anthony Gerbovac, 71, are the tackles.
And Joe Romelhart in on the tackle, number 76. You're going to hear his name a lot today. He's their best defensive lineman.
2nd and 9. Habib keeps, rolls to his right, puts it up in the air. Intercepted by Piscataway. And the first turnover of the season occurs on the second offensive play of the season.
And that's Jason Folks, a 5'11", 160-pound senior for the Piscataway Chiefs. Not a very well thrown pass, and Folks just picked it off.
That ball was thrown kind of late and also high. The receiver was open out there, but Habib took just a little bit of time to get it off.
All right, Piscataway will huddle up. Scholes is the quarterback. We've not seen him in the past. And as Phil mentioned, they come out in that I formation. Hand off to the first back, and that's Jackson. Jackson picks up about 3.5.
That had the makings of a big gainer, but East Brunswick recovered nicely.
Well, if you're the Chiefs, you really got to like it because you're going right into that line there and picking up yardage, and all you're doing is setting them up for something on the outside, pulling them in tight, and hope to get your speedsters to the outside.
We'll call it 2nd and 7. Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 46-yard line. Scholes fakes the Jackson, keeps, looks to pitch, holds onto it, and he'll cross the 45-yard line down to about the 42.
And on that tackle, number 45, Ozzie Carrion, one of the linebackers.
And Schultz, I'll tell you, it's first time we've seen him, first time playing quarterback on a varsity level, and it's an awful lot they asked a young man to handle that option.
3rd and about 5 now for Piscataway in East Brunswick territory. They stay in that I formation. Scholes looks to pass. He's being pressured. He's going to be sacked.
That's Gerbovac.
Number 71 for the Bears.
And I'll tell you, gentlemen, we didn't talk about him at the beginning of the game here, but Anthony Gerber-Vac is their most talented and valuable lineman. Has started ever since his sophomore year, and this senior year he wants to make it a good one.
Well, he certainly came out in fine form that time, and that's the type of pressure that East Brunswick's going to have to apply to keep the pressure off the secondary.
And it was interesting that all we've done is talk about Miles Savage, and the Chiefs chose not to go to him at all.
The loss puts the ball back on the Piscataway 47-yard line, where they'll punt. Back deep for East Brunswick is Habib and Phillips, and that's David Habib. Low snap, ball's on the ground. Good punt, however. And East Brunswick will not field it. And it'll go out just short of the 20. So East Brunswick will go on offense for the second time this evening.
And I tell you, if you're the Bears, you got to be very pleased. The Chiefs come out and you shut them down right away without a first down. Bears want to get back in and try to control that ball, gentlemen.
All right, I like to see Varick get his hands on the ball, as well as Phillips. Get that outside running game going.
Ball spotted just shy of the 20-yard line. East Brunswick 20. They'll have it 1st and 10. Habib keeps it and gets back to the line of scrimmage. Bring up a 2nd and 10.
And that was Jamal Clagion in on the tackle there, number 74.
All right, the Bears come out. First period action, no score from J. Doyle Field. Inside goes Varick, and he'll get back to line of scrimmage. No gain on the play, so it brings up 3rd and 10.
Once again, Joel Rummelhart, number 76, 6'3", 220 pounds, and as I mentioned before, you can expect him to be in and on a lot of tackle. He is the leader there.
Well, they'll say Varick picked up about 1, so it'll be 3rd and 9. 7:30 left in the first quarter. Habib has it, rolls right, looks, still has it, finally puts it up in the air. Ball is caught.
Yeah, it's caught.
And it should be enough for a first down.
Right.
I didn't see who made the catch. It's number 2, Matthews.
Number 2, Mike Matthews. It's a good 11-yard completion right there.
So East Brunswick picks up their first down of the evening.
And Mike Matthews with a nice catch. He's a 5'10", 140-pound junior. Ball was thrown low. He went right down and caught it before it hit the turf. Important first down.
Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 32-yard line. Habib. Inside goes Varick. And Varick picks up about 5.
It's about the first success East Brunswick has had running the ball tonight.
I'll tell you, Varick looked awfully good on that.
He has power as well as speed. He can do it inside and outside.
Well, Jim Varick will be Mr. Everything. You'll see him playing a great deal of defense, offense, punting, kickoffs. He does it all for the Bears.
And we have an official's timeout. Probably an equipment issue, it is. Clock stopped with 6:31 in the first quarter, no score. East Brunswick on their first offensive series. Second play was intercepted. However, they're starting to move the ball offensively here. Habib at quarterback. Quick pitch to Phillips, short side of the field. And he may have stepped out just short of the first down. We'll see where they spot it.
Phillips just running out of turf, trying to pick up that all-important first down, and it is very close, John.
It's right on the marker. His first carry.
First out by number 7, Eric Jackson.
And they're gonna...
It's short by about a foot.
Yeah, they're gonna bring the chains out to properly spot the ball.
The ball will be placed approximately the 42-yard line, where it'll be third and about a half a yard.
And I'll tell you, the Bears certainly want to maintain control of this ball. You can expect Varick to go right up the middle there to pick up that first down.
It's third and about 6 inches. Ball resting at the East Brunswick 42-yard line. And East Brunswick has jumped off, and that'll move him back 5.
I'll tell you, it really hurt. Habib was on the quarterback sneak there, and the Bears, as you pointed out, John, jumped off. From 3rd and inches to 3rd and 6.
Okay, that probably changes the play. Matthews being sent in with probably either a passing play or something more to the outside.
And you can look for Habib to roll out once again, perhaps towards the left side, and try to hit one of his receivers.
East Brunswick puts 2 receivers to the left. Inside handoff goes Varick. He's got the first down, still on his feet.
Wow.
Nice
and he gets up close to the 45-yard line.
I'll tell you, Jim Varick, good leg motion there, good movement there.
It's a good 8-yard pickup.
And I'll tell you, good runner. I tell you, the linebacker's probably looking for that rollout. Habib faked and just handed off to Varick, and he picked up good yardage.
Phil, something I noticed about Varick just on that run, he doesn't go down after one hit.
No, he's powerful.
First down for the Bears. Ball just shy of the 45-yard line, their own. Habib looks over middle quickly. He's got his tight end.
It's Szymanski.
Szymanski, number 89.
Yeah, we didn't know he was going to play tonight. He had injured his leg, but took the reception there.
I'll tell you, a pleasant surprise with the Bears.
Szymanski gets into Piscataway territory for the first down. The ball spotted at the Chiefs' 40-yard line, and East Brunswick with a beautiful drive going.
Good pass by Habib and good hands by Szymanski.
First down, clock down to 5:40, first quarter. No score here, East Brunswick and Piscataway. This is Varick, right side. He'll pick up maybe 1.
And Ryan Linder, number 50, in on the tackle for the Chiefs.
Jimmy and Phil, I think you got to be impressed with East Brunswick's quickness off the ball, at least in this drive.
Well, we have 2 quick teams there. We knew Piscataway would be quick, but the Bears certainly have some quickness of their own.
Second and about 9. Habib's got it. He rolls right. A little screen back to Phillips on the left side. He's got a blocker. He's going to try to get to the outside. He does. Still on his feet as he gets down close to the 35-yard line of Piscataway.
Now, if Piscataway was scouting that play, they'll find out that last Saturday in that scrimmage, that's the exact play that East Brunswick used for a touchdown, just from that spot.
Once Phillips showing some good speed there, didn't quite get the block that he wanted, which might have sprung him all the way, but give Piscataway some credit for sliding off the block and making the tackle.
Yeah, that could have gone all the way.
It's a first down. The ball spotted at the Piscataway 27-yard line. First down, East Brunswick. Habib keeps it right up the middle and gets down to the 30. I mean, the 20, rather.
It's a 7-yard pickup.
And it's a good pickup. Habib seeing something there. Those linebackers are split out, leaving that middle open, and
keeps him honest, Phil.
they're taking it. It's probably a play between the quarterback and center where Habib says something or hits him a certain way and just takes off on it.
I'll tell you one thing about Emil Habib. He does not seem to be nervous whatsoever. Very comfortable out there.
And he's leading the Bears on a long and time-consuming drive. Habib now looks right, puts the ball up. He's got a man, and just a little behind him.
That was Jack McNeil. He's a newcomer.
Number 88. McNeil just couldn't get his hands on it.
McNeil opened for a moment there, and the pass a little off, like you said, just behind him. Did touch it, wasn't able to pull it in. But you got to like the way the Bears are moving.
It'll bring up third and about 5. Ball resting at the Piscataway 20. Habib keeps, goes up the middle. Fights for a few yards, but he's going to be short of the first down.
Oh, he's going to be close, John. Depends on where they mark that ball.
Close to the 16-yard line where he stopped.
He's going to, boy, he's going to be real close, but I think just short.
It's a first down.
Oh,
No.
now they're going to measure for it.
He's just waving the flag.
Well, the clock stopped with 3:47 here in the first quarter. And now they're pushing they're telling the chain people to go back.
Wow.
It is a first down.
And they're going to give it to them. 1st and 10 now for East Brunswick. So the drive continues. Ball at the 16-yard line of Piscataway. I formation now for East Brunswick.
If you're looking at middle, you see what Habib's taking advantage of.
Yeah, really. And Varick finds it.
Varick has it. Gets down to about the 15. Second down for the Bears.
And once again, Romelhart and Linder.
Do not be shocked to see East Brunswick go to the end zone on a play right now. They've been developing a couple plays, pass plays.
They're going to get Varick too, so let's call it 2nd and 8. Ball just inside the Piscataway 15. Habib rolls to his right, looks, plants, doesn't have an opening, then fires, and actually was lucky it wasn't intercepted. So it'll bring 3rd and about 9.
And number 50, Ryan Linder, once again putting the pressure on Habib.
Habib with good ability to get outside, which of course is going to give him a little bit more time to throw the ball.
We've got Greg Colheim, number 14, coming in the game. Let's see if he's a part of what happens.
We got a split backfield. Habib looks quickly, pumps inside. He's got his man.
Wow.
Coming back this way. I didn't see who made the catch, Jim.
That was Greg Colheim.
It was Colheim.
Yes.
Number 14.
And it turns out to be a loss.
And I'll tell you, Red Lazowitz a little bit out there. I don't know if he was throwing a block or not. One of the truly veteran officials and whatnot made Colheim's run a little bit longer. I'll have to talk to Red about that.
Varick's going to try a field goal, 34 yards.
So East Brunswick will try for the 3 points on 4th down.
And Varick has a strong leg, certainly has the ability to nail it.
Yeah, he can drive it.
34-yarder, kick is up and wide right.
Well, that's not what we saw during practice.
That's for sure. He's if anything, his kicks normally don't get a whole lot of height on him, but they shoot out like bullets. And this one, he just didn't connect with it.
Still, I think you have to be encouraged by the length of that drive for East Brunswick. Something to note, that offensive line did a nice job. Habib really was never in trouble as far as being sacked during that entire drive, so you give some credit to that offensive line.
Well, not only that, you got 2 minutes, 9 seconds left in the first quarter, and the best way to keep the ball away from the speed that the Chiefs had is don't let them have the ball, and the Bears have controlled the ball for much of the first quarter.
Well, Piscataway is only touching it for the 2nd time this quarter with 2:09 remaining. That's Jackson, and Jackson fights his way for about 3 yards as Piscataway takes over on their own 15-yard line.
And gentlemen, at this point in time, you got to wonder if Miles Savage is going to be used strictly as a decoy. Is he hurt, or what the deal is? He hasn't looked like he's about to touch the ball.
Well, he's certainly in the game, but that's about all thus far. He has not been in the action. Scholes brings him up. In fact, Jackson lost yardage on that.
There's your man.
And there's Savage there.
And he
goes
was,
nowhere.
I'll tell you, he was snatched down.
Exactly. That was Lenny May, 67, who's in there.
Lenny May, 5'10", 150-pound nose guard, taking the place of the great Jay Adosho.
Right, sophomore Lenny May.
And good job there. You don't expect a 150-pounder to snatch somebody down with one arm.
Actually, Adosho wasn't all that big too, Phil, and he started as a sophomore.
Right.
So it's right in his stead.
Well, Piscataway seems to gain 2 and lose 3. They're now facing a 3rd and 9. Ball around their own 20-yard line. Scholes going to put it up, drops straight back, looks for a man, and no flag there. I thought there was interference.
And I'll tell you, Captain Marty Lucarelli, number 23 right there, to break up the play.
Marty, one of the co-captains, along with Jim Varick, very animated player we've seen. It's putting it mildly, but isn't that the job of a captain, is to get his team emotionally high for a game?
Well, Marty's what we call a junk talker from what we saw, and if you can back it up, what's the big deal?
Well, East Brunswick ought to get the ball in good field position, John.
Phillips and, believe it or not, Emil Habib are back to receive the punt.
Well, quarterback has good hands, and East Brunswick could use somebody who can catch the ball.
Second punt for Piscataway. Beautiful punt this time. East Brunswick will continue to let it go.
Wow, get away from it.
And Phillips standing dangerously close to that ball. But East Brunswick will go on offense. They have good field position at their own 41-yard line.
I'll tell you, excellent field position. And
I'm going to play devil's advocate, and I know this is the first game of the season, but why would you put your quarterback back to field a punt?
I'll venture to say that East Brunswick, if the ball is going to be fielded, it should be fielded by somebody who has good hands, and the quarterback has good hands.
You got to believe there's a number of people with good hands there. Habib is the key right here. He's the main man. John has a good point.
Well, we'll see what happens as the game progresses, but East Brunswick goes 1st and 10. Inside goes...
It's 27.
And that would be... Shanape.
Jeff Shanape. A 5'9", 154-pound junior.
Shanape picks up 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 with 3 seconds to go, and that should be it for the first quarter here at East Brunswick High School.
Wow, what a quick quarter, huh?
No score as teams will switch ends of the field.
Guys, I think you have to be encouraged with that first quarter. If for nothing else, East Brunswick being able to play mistake-free football, something that had also plagued them in the past. And yeah, just one penalty, you're right. But still at large, the offensive line did some nice blocking. They had some good holds. Habib showed some good ability to scramble and find the open receiver. I have him down for 3 for 6 for approximately 35 yards in that first quarter.
Well, I'll tell you, the Bears have just looked pretty good on defense. And while I understand what Joe Caragni's trying to do is really take shots at the middle of the line there, set them up, and then hopefully hit some to the outside. He hasn't been able to establish much going into the line, so nothing has worked for him. The Bears have just done a good job defensively.
All right, when play resumes, East Brunswick will have it. 2nd down.
It is also very early in the game, but as we had mentioned, this is a very hot and humid evening, and I think these guys playing in the shoulder pads, it's going to get a little. They're going to get a little fatigued as this game wears on, so conditioning may become a factor in the second half.
And Joe Caragni, as he has the right to do, calling this team to the sideline for a huddle, and they come back out on the field defensively.
2nd and 8 for East Brunswick. The ball spotted on their own 44. They'll go with that I formation. It's Phillips with the carry.
Oh, he had a hole there.
He fights his way across the 45 to about the 47.
Blocking was there.
The blocking was there. Young fellow Jeff Shanape making a block, and the defender sort of slid off it, but if he would have stuck with that, I think they would have picked up much more yardage. Lionel Hush, number 9, in on the tackle.
We'll call it 3rd and about 6. East Brunswick looking to move him into Piscataway territory once again. Habib gives to Shanape, and he's met right at the line of scrimmage.
A straight off tackle play. Doesn't get anything.
And so East Brunswick will be forced to punt. That'll bring Varick back in.
I can understand Marcus Borden, the coach's desire to run off tackle. He doesn't want to cause that turnover to give Piscataway the momentum. I think he feels the game is somewhat under control and doesn't want to force a turnover.
Well, Savage is back deep for Piscataway. We'll see where Varick puts the ball. Good punt away from Savage.
It's an excellent punt.
And the ball will go out of bounds at about the 21-yard line.
And we have a flag. It may be roughing the kicker.
You're right, Phil. Where that flag is usually means that.
And number 74 seems to be talking to the official.
Joel Rumhart. And we'll see what the call is.
Well, Varick is a very unemotional player, and the way he's walking back there, he's just assuming it's against Piscataway.
Rumhart is 76 and 74. Do we have a number for?
Yeah, 74 for Piscataway is Rummelhart.
I'm looking at this
in the program.
I'm looking at this scenario on the field. Piscataway is huddled up back, thinking that they're about ready to go into an offensive series. They don't realize that a flag's been thrown.
And it is roughing the kicker against Piscataway.
So they're going to mark off 15 yards.
And that'll bring the East Brunswick offense back on the field first. Secondly, it'll give East Brunswick excellent field position in Piscataway territory with a first down. So a very costly penalty for Piscataway at this juncture of the game.
Okay, and I've been calling Rummelhart Pelican, number 76, who's been really doing the job on the line.
All right, the Bears will have it. First and 10. Habib looks to his right and throws wide. He's looking for number 88, McNeil. Bring up second down. 10:36 left before halftime. No score in this game. East Brunswick and Piscataway. Season opener for both teams. And both are looking to improve on rather dismal seasons from last year. Habib over the middle for Szymanski, just knocked away. Good defensive play by Baird, number 44.
Well, Nick doesn't seem to be showing any ill effects of that injury. He's running rather well.
So it's 3rd and 10 for East Brunswick. Ball sitting on the Piscataway 37.
And the Bears want to make a big play here.
Split back formation. Habib looks to his left, puts it up. He's got a man. It's caught. That's McNeil, and he'll be dragged down inside the 10-yard line.
Boy, there's 2 receivers out there for East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, 2 receivers in the same area. The ball hung up there a little bit. Nevertheless, McNeil grabbed onto it with a nice catch.
The play goes for 29 yards and a first down.
And East Brunswick's knocking. For the first time this evening, they're within the 10-yard line.
It's McNeil's first grab of the evening.
And a timeout has been called.
I didn't catch who that timeout was called by.
I didn't either, Jim. I didn't hear a whistle or anything, quite honestly. And we're being told that that Piscataway called it.
Which I guess is fine with Borden. He gets an opportunity now to get out and get his team organized. They're inside the 10-yard line. This is really the first real threat by either team, although East Brunswick has been driving.
And I'll tell you, take a look at a braceless Marcus Borden. No brace on that right leg. And Marcus, I happened to come up the field here a number of times during the summer, and he's working out as getting ready for the season. He's running around getting himself conditioned. So he looks like he's really rehabilitated that leg. But right now he's out there, and they want to punch this ball in here. And Marcus is talking about execution, and all the things that they've worked on, and they've worked hard. Jim, we talked about them not opening up with Cherokee, but the Bears really don't duck anybody. Witness the fact that they scrimmage Phillipsburg, Elizabeth, and Port Richmond of Staten Island, and those are no pushovers. So they want to play the best.
All right, East Brunswick has it. First down at the 9-yard line. So it's first and goal. This is Phillips. Kind of stuttered as he got to the line of scrimmage.
Well,
he was looking for a hole.
Some people call it stuttering, others say it's tiptoeing. He actually wasn't shooting in there looking for the hold. Sometimes if it's not there, you just got to take it through.
And I think they lost some yardage on that, guys.
They did lose a yard, so it's second and let's say it's 2nd and 9. 9:50 to go before halftime. Habib rolls to his right, has some pressure, puts it up, and the ball is caught. Yes, Matthews.
Beautiful catch.
A poor pass, but a great job by Matthews.
I'll tell you what, it was a great pass, John, because Habib had all he could do to get away from 2 charging linemen. You're right, it wasn't the best of aerials, but son of a gun, give him some credit for getting out there and getting that pass off. I thought he was going to get tackled.
And you got to wonder what number 7, Eric Jackson, I guess that is, was thinking of for Piscataway.
He was thinking the same thing I was thinking. That ball wasn't going to get there.
9-yard touchdown pass.
So the Bears go up on top, 6-0. And Varick to add the 7th point. And it's good.
Through.
So the Bears open up the 92 season, scoring first with 9:42 remaining before halftime.
Not a bad drive.
Not a bad drive at all. And I tell you, if you're Mike Matthews, you got to be pretty happy. The first touchdown of the season, and to be on the other end of it, and he made a fine play. I tell you, I was looking at the defensive back there, who sort of just froze, and and did a little bit more than freeze, didn't he?
Yep.
And Matthews just made a super catch.
And Mike Matthews is evidence that you don't have to be huge to play football. He is listed in the program as being 5'8" and 115.
All right, East Brunswick will kick it off now to Piscataway.
Yeah. Jim, maybe he was that last year. He's built up over a little bit. And
Okay.
Mike Matthews is actually 5'10", 140.
Yeah, first game of the season for us, too.
Can we make a compromise on this, Phil? Say about 130?
125.
Okay.
Anyway, Varick will tee it up and kick it off to Piscataway. Low line drive kick.
That's a good kick.
Savage picks it up at about the 16-yard line, still on his feet, and skids close to the 30.
Phil, we really haven't had an opportunity to see Miles Savage do his thing tonight.
Miles Savage has touched the ball once going into the line. Outside of that, hasn't done much. And you got a lot of that. Some of the credit you certainly got to give to the Bear defense, but if you haven't touched the ball, you can't really tell what the young man can do.
All right, the Chiefs will have it 1st and 10. The ball just shy of their own 30-yard line. They trail 7-0 with 9:20 to go in the second quarter. Bears are on top, 7-0. And a defensive player for East Brunswick jumped offside.
That was Molina, part of that front three for East Brunswick. I think this is the first time he's been on the line tonight. I've been noticing that East Brunswick is going with a little different front. They're going to hold. They're going to hold the flag.
They're going to wave the flag off. No flag. He got back.
Okay,
and did not make contact.
I wanted to set East Brunswick defensively. You've got Ken Molina. We mentioned May. And also Mikowski as the front three. Varick and Phillips are the linebackers. 23, Marty Lucarello is one of the deep backs. Let's see. Carry on, we mentioned him as being a linebacker. Also number 50, Paul Dumas, 5'7", 162, is also another linebacker.
All right, so we'll start over again. 1st and 10. No flag on the play. Savage goes in motion to the left. First time we've seen that. And Schultz runs into his own man as he's backing up into the pocket.
And I'll tell you, the Chiefs look quite sloppy. That's exactly what happened, John. Schultz took the snap from the center, was taking some steps back, and one of his own players ran right into him.
And he loses a yard, so let's call it 2nd and 11 now. Clock running with 8:30 to go. Second quarter action. East Brunswick on top, 7-0.
Secondary for East Brunswick, Lucarello, Bruce Eng, number 39. 41 is Chris Hendricks, and number 32 is Phillips, and 14, Greg Holheim.
Motion now for Piscataway. The option play back to Savage. Steps inside, still on his feet. And he'll wrestle for about 3 yards.
And I'll tell you, give Eric Phillips some credit for turning him in there. He did his job. He's that outside linebacker. Phillips being very quick himself. Savage saw he couldn't get to the outside, had to turn in to where the rest of the defense was. Nice job, Eric Phillips.
3rd down and about 7 now for Piscataway. Ball resting on their own 32-yard line. Piscataway stays in that I formation. Scholes on a draw to Savage. Savage still going.
Wow.
And he's got the first down.
I'll tell you, quite an effort by Miles Savage. Miles Savage, not very big himself, 5'8", 165, and was just shedding tackles to pick up that first down there.
East Brunswick had him a number of times, but he just wrestled himself away.
So it's first down, ball at the Piscataway 42. So when they look like they had him for maybe a yard gain, Savage picks up about 8.5. And Piscataway gets new life with the first down. In a short 2, ball right over midfield.
Okay,
and now they have to reset the clock with that little splurge there of power.
I'll tell you, that was sort of strange. Everything just went just like that for a split second.
We lost power up here.
Right, no lightning either.
Please.
Okay, now we're set on, at least on the clock portion, but on the rest of the scoreboard, all the lights are out.
And again, we were talking about Jim Varick using his speed to come from the backside to stop Savage on that run there.
All right, the clock is being reset at 6:40. The score is 7-0 East Brunswick, that we're certain of.
And the Chiefs seem to have rediscovered Savage. The last few plays showing you some of the talent that he has, and that's not really being to the outside. And you got to give the Bears a lot of credit. They are doing a good job, both Varick and Phillip, on containing.
Second down and a long 2 for the Chiefs. I formation, Schultz at quarterback, gives it to Jackson. Jackson's got the first down, still on his feet, and he gets inside the 40-yard line of East Brunswick. Ball's on the ground, but they're going to say he was down.
And Eric Jackson, the 6-foot, 180-pound senior, doing some hard running of his own for an all-important first down.
You know, it almost looks like shades of last year when Piscataway started that ground attack and just started grinding out yardage.
Well, last year, I remember very vividly, again, the talk was about Savage, and second play of the game, Savage got hurt, and then a young man by the name of John Smith took over, running off tackle and ran all over the field.
East Brunswick calls a timeout as they want to get together here on defense.
Well, the Chiefs seem to found their rhythm and certainly are getting, seem to be getting more confident each time they touch the ball.
Yeah, I think their thrust towards the beginning series was to get to the outside, test that outside speed that they had with Jackson in particular. They didn't use Savage that much, but they find with that size that they have in the middle on the offensive line that maybe they can exploit that, and that's what they're doing right now.
Well, they picked up another first down with 6:16 to go. They have the ball in East Brunswick territory.
And right away, defensive coordinator Nick Spadafino, who's been here, I guess, forever, is out there to make some adjustments defensively, or simply just to talk to the players, get them back on cue.
So the Chiefs coming out of that huddle with some renewed life, Phil. They're moving the ball well on the ground, and that I formation, or that Syracuse stutter, is working. This is Jackson. He'll pick up a couple.
Varick again on tackle.
And the Chiefs are starting to mix it up rather nicely as well, trying to keep the Bears certainly off balance.
It'll bring up a 2nd and about 7 for Piscataway. Ball at the East Brunswick 37-yard line. 5:40 remaining, second quarter. Bears on top, 7-0. Schultz keeps it, goes down the line. He'll dive inside the 35-yard line, and it'll bring up 3rd down.
And you got to believe that was an intended keeper. I mean, it's not, in the sense that it's not a true option. The true option is the first back through doesn't know whether he's getting the ball or not, and the quarterback has the right to put it in there and pull it out. Schultz was keeping that ball all the way.
Big third down play for Piscataway if they hope to keep this drive alive. 3rd and a long 5. Ball spotted right at the East Brunswick 35. Quick pitch, that's Savage. Flag is thrown as he comes up close to the first down marker.
And that's usually where a holding is, area where there's a holding, John, so you can expect the Chiefs to move back.
If it wasn't, that's very close to, well, it's just short of the first down marker.
It is holding against Piscataway, and that'll move him back. And Marcus Borden is telling Varick to push him back. Because I would think Piscataway would go, Phil, 4th and less than a foot.
With that field possession, you'd have to believe, in the way they've been running, you'd have to believe they would. I'll tell you, the Chiefs right now are taking whatever they can get. Marcus has done a nice job with his move of putting Varick and Phillips on the in there. They have enough speed to deal with Piscataway's speed. Piscataway is not attempting to go to the outside. They're cutting it all back in because they're turning it in.
Well, it's a 10-yard penalty, moves the ball back to the East Brunswick 45. So it's 3rd and 15. And now we'll see what Piscataway is going to do. Schultz has not really shown much of an arm tonight. He still has it, pitches back to Savage. He's being pressured, turns the corner, but he's going to be knocked out of bounds way short of the first down.
Credit goes to Eric Ozzie Carrion for penetrating and causing Savage to go outside, but the team finished him off.
And I'll tell you something, Joe Carani talked about his passing game being one of the weaknesses there. They needed long yardage there, didn't even attempt to go to try to put a pass up. So that tells you something about the passing game, which tells you can play for the run most of the time.
And sophomore Greg Kohlheim is deep, John.
It would appear that Piscataway will punt.
Kohlheim 6'2", 165 pounds.
And that is he back there, number 14 for East Brunswick.
And this is a change now. Eric Phillips used to be back there fielding punts, along with Habib.
And there was movement on Piscataway's line. And that'll move him back 5 more yards.
And I tell you, Marcus must have a lot of confidence in this young fella. He's just a sophomore back there, and he looks lonely back there. back there by himself.
Single deep back.
And he must have good speed, but again, you're a sophomore putting him back there with no one else.
We go back to Mark Harmon.
That's true.
To remember if that happened before, good Lord.
Well, we go back even further than that. Derek Rowe when he was a sophomore.
Yes.
So. Well, Kohlheim is back there to field the punt, and he's the single man back. Piscataway now, a series of penalties has moved them back.
Short kick won't have to be fielded here.
And a good bounce. That ball is still going, and that's going to be around the 10-yard line where East Brunswick will take over.
I'll tell you, the Chiefs were very fortunate. As Joe Kalani pointed out, kicking game not very good at all, but the ball took a good bounce for the Chiefs, and the Bears will take over with their backs towards the end zone.
Guys, something that I'm noting, the entire defensive line comes out and rests, and East Brunswick sends in a new offensive line. That's something maybe a little different. East Brunswick used to run some of its big players both ways, so they're getting a rest here now.
Well, they're getting a rest. They have the Bears, as you look on the sideline, certainly have the numbers, and Marcus is taking advantage of it.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 10. Habib gives it inside. I believe that's Varick.
Yes, it is.
So East Brunswick with 3:20 left in the quarter and before halftime. We'll see how adventurous they get. They are in the lead 7-0, but are right now in poor field position. As Varick picks up 2, we'll call it 2nd and 8 from about the 12-yard line. New running backs come in, so
that's Bruce Eng as the deep back. And
Shanape with the carry, and it looks like Marcus is content to keep it on the ground, not create a turnover.
Surprised that Piscataway isn't calling timeouts here. I think they have all 3 left. 2? Okay, 2 timeouts, and might want to stop the clock.
Well, the clock is running down to 2:35 now. It's going to bring up 3rd and 5 for the Bears.
Well, the clock will be stopped depending on what happens here, whether the Bears get the first down or not. And if they don't, Piscataway will call.
Hang and Shanape are the running backs. Habib goes nowhere on the quarterback keeper. So it's going to bring up 4th down, and then we'll see if Piscataway does anything to stop the clock.
They apparently feel they have enough time. I personally think they're wasting it.
Well, they're going to go for the 2-minute warning.
Well, East Brunswick will do well just to take their time as Varick will move back into punt formation. Clock showing 1:50 now. Savage will go back deep for Piscataway. Good snap. Varick gets off a boomer of a punt.
Wow, what a kick.
Savage will field it at about the 35-yard line, his own, and will go out of bounds.
Bruce Eng, number 39, was down there to stop Savage.
Showing good speed. I tell you, Savage fields the ball. Granted, he's on that side of the field there, but he had an awful lot of field over here and ran to the tight side there and was nailed.
Well, Piscataway comes out with their running attack with 1:34 left, and they trail by 7. It'll be interesting to see if they change up their strategy and put the ball in the air.
Wow, that was an effective kick by Jim Varick. That was from his own 5-yard line.
Ball spotted at the Chiefs' 41. And now it's a race against the clock as they need to go 60 yards to tie this game up. Schultz keeps it. Quickly pitches it past Savage. The ball's on the ground.
Tries to pick it up.
Savage finally falls on it at his own 20.
And you got to believe the Bears may call a timeout of their own here. And the timeout from no one. No one wants to stop it. I'll tell you.
Finally, Marcus Borden is signaling a timeout.
Okay. I'll tell you, a very dangerous play, that pitch there. Pitch is very deep. Savage, you learn in Pop Warner to fall on that ball. He was trying to pick it up, could have kicked it back. Any number of things could have happened. The Bears could have recovered. Eventually, he did fall on it, but not the way he should have.
Phil, another thing on that play, the trailing back is always taught to keep his eye on where the quarterback is, and Savage was far ahead of where Schultz was.
That's right. Well, one thing the Bears have in the favor is that there are no surprises coming from Piscataway. We talked about the lack of a passing game. I heard Joe Carani on WCTC this morning, and he was talking about we had to pass the ball, and they show no signs of the capability of creating any kind of passing game. And if you're the Bear defense, and you know that, you can bring it.
Guys, I don't want to be a soothsayer in this, but I seem to recollect a number of times that East Brunswick was in this situation of having a team deep in its own territory just before the half, and then somebody just breaks away for a long gainer. I don't want that to happen, but you just got to keep your eyes on number 2, Miles Savage.
Well, Piscataway will have it, and really their half has been one of penalties and miscues. They are back on their own 20. Savage goes in motion to the right. This is Jackson, has a hole, trying to get to the outside, still on his feet. And Savage may have a good chunk of that first down yardage back.
And I'll tell you, Marcus Borden come Monday on that play there, I missed the would-be tackler, but he's going to tell you, you got to wrap. You just can't rack a guy, you got to wrap. In order to pull him down, that could have been, could have popped to the outside and still picked up much more yardage.
Well, this is a very key play right here. Now you got a 3rd and 10 yards, and if Piscataway does not convert, East Brunswick does have a chance to get the ball back.
Savage picked up 21 yards on that play. As the ball comes up to the Piscataway 41, it's 3rd and 10, minute 2 left in this second quarter. And Piscataway trailing 7-0. Savage in motion to the left this time.
Oh,
Jackson taken down immediately.
I'll tell you, fine play. Number 67.
Ken Armwood. I'm sorry, that's Piscataway.
And the Bears call their final timeout.
Lenny May, Phil.
Lenny May doing a nice job there, just blowing in there. Lenny May to nose guard again. I like him.
Just a sophomore.
Well, really, decision time now for Piscataway. They're facing a 4th and 10 51 seconds left.
I
mean, you don't have much of a choice,
no,
but their passing is...
there's no decision for Piscataway. First of all, they don't have a passing game, as we pointed out. To take the risk of a pitch or something like that now, and they certainly don't want to do that. They got a punt.
Well, certainly East Brunswick's anticipating a punt.
So now the Bears revert to Habib and Phillips as their deep backs instead of Kohlheim.
And depending on how the punt is, the Bears have been known to do reverses.
Well, they first have to catch the ball.
Yeah, they have not touched a punt yet. Have not fielded a punt. And so Piscataway will do just that.
Oh.
Bad snap.
He's going to kick it.
And good heads-up play by Piscataway's punter. And again, East Brunswick will let it come to a rest with 40 seconds left.
That was so deep that the punter had a chance to recover and kick it.
Jason Fawkes is the punter and did a nice job, kept his cool.
He did. The Chiefs were very fortunate once again, because I don't think the Bears were exactly blowing in there. If they were, they would have had a chance to tackle him before he got it off.
Clock is running now. East Brunswick 35 seconds. The ball at their own 42-yard line. They're going to shotgun for the first time.
Right, they have no timeouts.
Habib looks to his left, puts it up. Wide, intended for Matthews, who caught the touchdown pass earlier. So that'll stop the clock with 25 seconds.
No, Habib has not been shy about throwing the ball. That was his 12th pass. He's completed 6.
Yeah, most of them have been of that very short nature, Jim. He hasn't put up anything really deep.
3 receivers still left for East Brunswick as Habib comes back to the short side. Nice catch by Phillips. Did he have it?
I'll tell you.
And no call yet.
Now Red was reaching for the flag there for a while.
We're going to have an interference call, I think, on Jackson.
Right. And the difference between that and the penalty is you get a 15-yard advance rather than where the ball is spotted.
And Alex Bagamary, the official, standing right there, trying to reach for his flag and just couldn't get it in time. An old teammate of mine finally pulled it.
Boy, that age is hell, huh? But I think you guys would agree that Piscataway's first half has really been one of penalties, mistakes, and just out sloppiness.
Penalties, mistakes, and cautiousness.
They've had 3 major penalties.
All right, East Brunswick with 19 seconds now, an official timeout. East Brunswick has 4 receivers to the left side.
Shades of the run and shoot.
Ball at the Piscataway 42. Flag down. Habib. He's got a man. That's Kohlheim. He's got it at the 25-yard line.
And illegal procedure here.
Motion.
It's against East Brunswick. That'll stop the clock, and it also will entail a mark-off of the ball.
And Greg Kohlheim showing something, going up for that ball and pulling it in. Fortunately, there's a flag, and it will come back.
Greg Kohlheim, you think he's somebody that Marcus had under wraps? Didn't know too much about this fellow.
No, well, there's Marcus doesn't. If you're a young player and you got talent, you're going to play in the Marcus Borden system. There are coaches that believe that if you're a sophomore, you got to bide your time. If you have talent, you're going to play for Marcus.
They come out in that same formation. 4 receivers to the left.
Here comes the clock.
8 seconds remaining. Habib. This time off the mark as he was looking for Phillips. So 4 seconds. This will be the last play.
This is the last play, and you can look for him to go towards the end zone. They've been throwing underneath constantly, just the short passes. Even if Habib's not a long ball thrower, you got to believe this one's going towards the end zone.
Ball on Piscataway 45. 4 seconds remaining before half. Habib puts it up deep. He's got a man, but just a little bit out of reach for number 11, Jason Jacobs, and that'll be it. Halftime here at East Brunswick with the Bears on top, 7-0. And I'll say this, I've been very impressed tonight with East Brunswick's hustle. They're in tremendous shape. The young people are playing quite well. They're attacking the ball, and I think they've got a lot to be pleased with, despite the fact that the score may only be 7-0.
No, they definitely have the edge in play, John and Phil. I think I'm very pleased with the way Emil Habib has directed this club. He's brought them on 2 drives, one of which has resulted in a touchdown, the other one on a missed field goal. But he is definitely a more confident quarterback. And for East Brunswick to do well, they need to score some points this year. The defense, always a good source of strength for them, but
Well,
they've been looking good.
I've been pleased with the defense. One of the things I talked at the top of the game that the Bears have been often been beaten by the big play. They are not allowing the big play. For all the talk we've done about Savage, they pretty much have contained him. They're doing a good job defensively. They may bend a little bit, but they're not going to break.
All right, it's 7-0 here at East Brunswick High School. It's halftime. And as usual, we'll invite you to stay tuned and watch the East Brunswick High School Marching Band.
It's supposed to be 24.
And we welcome you back from halftime here at East Brunswick High School. The Bears on top 7-0, and a rare treat for high school fans tonight. They had the opportunity to listen to both bands, East Brunswick and Piscataway, at halftime, which kind of maybe delayed the halftime intermission a little bit. Both teams are out on the field. They're at the far end, stretching, getting ready for the second half. But Jim, I know you have some stats that you can help us with as we get ready for this third quarter.
Okay, for East Brunswick in the rushing department, Jim Varick was the workhorse back for East Brunswick, carrying 7 times for 19 yards with a long gainer of 8. Eric Phillips carried the ball twice for 8 yards. Habib, the quarterback, more or less scrambling 4 times for 13 yards. And Shanapley carried the ball 3 times for 5 yards. In the passing department, Habib 7 for 14, 79 yards with a long gainer of 29. That going to McNeil, who had 1 catch. Szymanski had 1 catch for 14 yards. Matthews 2 catches for 11 and 9 yards. Kohlheim had 1 catch for a yard. Varick 1 for the long gainer, 29-yarder, and Eric Phillips 2 catches for a net 19 yards. So that's East Brunswick's passing. The scoring came in the second period on a pass play on a scramble to the right by Emil Habib, connecting with Mike Matthews from 9 yards out. That was at 9:42, and the point was good for 7-0, and that's where we stand. As far as penalties were concerned, they hurt Piscataway in the first half. There was 3 major penalties, 2 15-yarders, a 10-yard holding penalty, and a 5-yarder for a total of 45 yards. East Brunswick was penalized 1 time for 5 yards, and in turnovers, that first pass by Habib in the opening series was the only interception for either team.
Well, I think East Brunswick's got a lot to be proud of after that first half, leading 7-0, but also moving to the ball well, showing their speed, showing their quickness, and I think you're going to see maybe a little bit more up-tempo game from East Brunswick, Phil.
I think you might too. I think they might try a few different things. They've seemed to be pretty much in control. I just think that they have the Chiefs' number, both offensively and defensively. Defensively, the Chiefs haven't shown in anything that the Bears aren't able to contain, and if they continue to play the same way, they should keep in control of this game.
Well, it's opening night of the season here at East Brunswick High School, opening home opener, if you will. A beautiful night, a good crowd on hand as East Brunswick is treating to the fans to a very good, solid, fundamental football game as they are on top at the moment, 7-0. And East Brunswick's going to kick it off to start this third quarter. And certainly the one that Piscataway wants to touch the ball is Savage, number 2, and he's back deep. And here we go, Varick puts a foot into it, a good kickoff. This will be Savage at about the 3-yard line. And this young man has shown his ability to stay on his feet as he gets up close to the 30-yard line.
And a good return by Savage. He takes a hit, gets like a pinball, gets bounced around, sort of keeps moving. Shows he doesn't mind running on the inside.
All right, Piscataway, who trails 7-0, will go on offense now.
Quarterback for the Chiefs will be number 11, Jason Schultz.
And if you're a Chief fan, you gotta look for the Chiefs to do something else. Come with maybe a surprise or 2.
Well, they start out in that I formation.
Wow, this is quite a different defensive alignment for East Brunswick.
Schultz gives it to Savage. He's got the whole right side. If he turns the corner, it's a foot race. Kohlheim can't make the tackle. Flag is down, however, and this may all go for naught.
It will be a clip on Bruce Eng, 39. Fortunate for the Bears.
I'll tell you.
Boy, I thought Kohlheim had the angle on him, Phil, and he just blew right by him.
He had the angle, and we pointed out at the top of the show, the young man runs 55 meters faster than anyone in the state. That's without pads, of course, but you saw him take off, and that's what we've been saying the Bears have to guard against all game. Fortunately, they clipped there, and that play comes back.
Well, they're going to call it a hold, and I think Eng got hooked around the arm and was held up. And that's going to all come back.
And that's quite unfortunate for Piscataway because I don't think Bruce Eng was in any position to make a tackle on Miles Savage.
Well, you're right, Phil. They didn't come out with much different, but the results certainly were different than the first half.
It's the first time that he's truly gone to the outside.
Well, it's a wake-up call for the defense. They can rest assured now that they're going to be alert to that.
So it's a 10-yard penalty. Still first down for Piscataway. Schultz still has it, keeps, and it'll be dragged down from behind.
Neck tackle there. Gerbenbach was on.
And there's a flag.
Let's see what. That could be some mouthing off right here.
Personal foul against East Brunswick.
I don't know what it was, Jim. It may have been mouthing off, as you said, something that was said.
Well, I think Gerbenbach made a great tackle. He wrapped the quarterback around the neck, but I think he also continued to talk after that, and the officials are not going to put up with it.
Well, you can see Red Losowitz pointing a finger to East Brunswick.
And it was a play where Savage was out of the game. They had Rodney West in there, so you sort of had a figure on that option. Schultz was going to keep it. Savage, however, is back in the game. He gets a rest between the penalty and the one play.
And it gives Piscataway a first down at the at their own 49. They trail 7-0. Start of the third quarter here from East Brunswick High School. Piscataway will stay in that I formation. And this is Savage off left tackle.
Ooh.
And that young man drags about 4 Bears with him as he goes into East Brunswick territory.
Wow.
He showed a little toughness there, and once again, the Bears not wrapping, making that initial hit, but really not wrapping up the young running back.
Chris Hendrick was the first East Brunswick Bear to hit him, but he was just dragged about 5 yards.
Well, he picks up 4 tough yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 for Piscataway, but the ball is in East Brunswick territory as we start this third period. The Chiefs trailing the Bears 7-0. Scholes gives it to Jackson. First man through, and he'll fight his way back to the line of scrimmage.
Lenny May, the sophomore nose guard, first one there to not nail him.
And that's about his third or fourth tackle, I believe, and doing a good job.
Yes, he has been blocking that middle nicely.
3rd down for Piscataway. 3rd and about 4.
And Jim, let's take a look if we can see if it's a true option again. If it's there, a true option, he would give it to that dive man and then pitch, or if it's just predetermined.
Piscataway puts a man in motion. Schultz puts it up in the air, airs it out, had a man open, just overthrew him.
And the rush was on for the Bears. Dumas, number 50, as well as Eric Phillips were back there. And Phil, I'll tell you what, I don't think Piscataway really has a good enough passing game. I don't think the quarterback has the quick enough steps to drop back. East Brunswick's too quick for him.
Everything that we've seen thus far, there's no passing game to speak of whatsoever, not even on the short games. This is a running team, and that's how they're going to earn their keep this year. They may improve as time goes on, but at this juncture, the young quarterback, passing-wise, has been unimpressive.
Well, and a timeout, East Brunswick.
Well, timeouts like that are usually because there's not enough men on the field.
And Marcus Borden will walk out as Piscataway was facing a 4th down.
Well, actually, there was
too many.
There was too many men, and that 5-yard penalty would have given Piscataway a first down. So, you don't like to use timeouts like that, but this was a good one.
And someone will hear about it. Of course, Marcus is the master of organization. He's as organized a coach as you're going to find, and certainly you don't expect to end up with too many men on the field. I'll tell you, this may be the first game of the year, and you may see it. You can bet your bottom dollar during the rest of the year you won't see something like that too often. It has a veteran staff, organized staff, and they drill the players well on what they should be doing, who should be in there.
Well, East Brunswick will get this ball back and will go on offense for the first time in the second half. They're in the lead 7-0.
Yeah, this is about the fourth opportunity that Piscataway has punted, and I have yet to see East Brunswick field the ball. It would be good to see those running backs, or those backs, to come up under that, at least so that the ball does not go back and deep in their own territory.
Phillips and Habib are back for the Bears. High punt, short, and Phillips will let it bounce, and again a good bounce for Piscataway as it comes down and settles around at the East Brunswick 15.
And by not fielding that ball, there was about a 10-yard bounce towards East Brunswick's goal line.
Well, Jim, it's a dice throw. It's really a gamble whether to go in and touch it or not. Basically on punch, you're thinking field position. If in fact you may have decent field position by letting it bounce, let it go. If not, pick it up.
You also have the option, Phil, of a fair catch. Anyway, East Brunswick will start 1st and 10 from their own 15. Inside goes Varick, I believe, and he's nailed hard. He picks up maybe one.
You know, we haven't had any fumbles in this game. This being the first game of the year, that's a little bit of surprise.
And that was Carson Baird, number 44, a junior linebacker for the Chiefs, who nailed Varick right there.
We'll call it 2nd and 9. Habib inside the Varick.
Oh,
He's got a hole. And gets up to the 25-yard line.
Just enough for the first down, depending where they mark it.
25-yard line.
Yep, that's going to be good enough.
And a nice run by Varick there. Steadily kept those legs moving. And if Rico Owens, number 30, doesn't make that tackle, Varick turns that corner and he's gone.
He is. He's fast.
So the Bears pick up a first down on their first offensive drive of this second half. Clock down to 7:50, third quarter. East Brunswick on top, 7-0. Habib gives it to Varick again. Varick picks up about 6.
And once again, Varick with some good hard running there, picking up good yardage. You can pick up 6 yards on the first down. It gives you a lot of different options.
2nd and 4, ball just over the East Brunswick 30, spotted at about the 31. Quick pitch to Phillips this time, right side. He's got a hole.
And that's Piscataway helmet that went.
They thought it was the ball, Jim, rolling out
Just
there.
a second.
I'll tell you, Phillips looked like he was getting up head of steam and had one tackle there.
But he picks up the first down.
An 11-yard gain. And that East Brunswick running game now is starting to crank it into gear.
Well, they're mixing it up nicely right now.
I feel that's the kind of running I think Marcus Borden and his staff are looking from Eric Phillips, and felt that he had inside him all along.
Well, he came back here from after spending a year in Lakewood, and was touted as being the next coming of Varnell Johnson and his cousin. It just didn't happen, and this is his senior year, and I'm sure he wants to make something really happen.
And Shanape comes in for Varick.
First
Give him
down.
a rest.
Ball on East Brunswick 42. That's Phillips again, right side.
Nice block in there by that East Brunswick offensive line.
Phillips will pick up about 5.
And the East Brunswick offense is attacking right now. And as I said, mixing it up nice, giving you Barrett and coming back with Phillips. You got to wonder if Marcus is setting them up for a pass. One thought is that, hey, you got it moving right now, no need for a pass. Just keep attacking them. But by the same token, they're coming in. They're getting tighter and tighter, trying to stop that run. They may be susceptible to the pass.
2nd and 5. Habib to his left.
Oh.
Overthrows
Shanape.
Shanape was open, and there was a defender right in front of him. Habib sort of upset with himself. He knows Shanape, if he could have dropped it right in there, he would have had him. And
I think that's Savage out there. He's got cramps in his legs. Can't move.
he can't move at all. No one sees him.
There
He's
he
down
goes.
now.
He's down. They're going to have to stop the clock on this one.
And I think you're right, Jim. I didn't see anyone throw a block on him. It's got to be cramps.
And boy, I tell you, they hurt. If anybody watched the Rutgers-Pittsburgh
Yes,
game last night, Brian Forte started cramping up, and it went to his legs, to his arms, and to his abdomen. And it's early season. We mentioned how hot and humid it is tonight. And fluids can be depleted rather quickly.
As they work on Savage, with 6:16 remaining in the third quarter, Bears on top 7-0. Phil, I'm, as I've mentioned several times tonight, I'm very impressed with the team speed of East Brunswick, both on offense and defense.
I think certainly East Brunswick seems to have more team speed than they did last year. Of course, they have no one that can match the awesome speed that Barnell Johnson had, but the balance and speed that they have is good. Ing has fine speed, Varick and Phillips we pointed out, but overall team speed seems to be a little quicker as well, and that's going to serve them well. And as you look out there with Savage lying on the field and standing out there, I believe both of them are trainers. Karani is still on the sideline.
Well, we mentioned that offensive line for East Brunswick doing an outstanding job just before. Ruggia is the center. And by the way, Phil, I've noticed that the center snap on points after and field goal attempts has been very, very sound this year. Nothing, no floaters or balls going on the ground, and Ruggia has to be credited for that. Gomel and Priskowski have been the guards, along with Mikowski and Gerbovac. He's been playing a lot.
I think it's all about preparation. I think, as I mentioned, during the summer come up here to run around the track, and you see guys working out on their own an awful lot. You know, really seemingly more so than the years gone by. And the numbers that the guys were out here conscientious about preparing for the season.
Sure. Paul Sargent, number 77. I forgot to mention him. He's also been playing very, very steady tonight.
Savage is up and is walking, and will get over to the sideline and get some additional attention from the trainers and get some fluids in him in particular.
Well, it's a warm night. And certainly can have an effect on you. He's a runner, so I'm sure he's used to it, and will probably happen more this year.
Okay, with Savage out of there, Phil, you think East Brunswick will go to the air?
Well, they attempted to go to the air last time. Of course, they had it going running. We talked about that.
It's 3rd and about 6 for the Bears. Havey puts it up. He's got a man down the sideline.
Wow.
Closely guarded there.
I tell you, Herb, Lionel Hush sort of leaning, maybe not quite touching, but really leaning, and officials gave him the benefit of the doubt. Apparently no interference whatsoever.
4th down now for the Bears, and they'll punt it away.
And I talked about a little while ago, sometimes when you got it running, you don't want to mess up a good thing. You had Barrick moving, then you had Phillips moving at this, also picking up good yardage. But you had to also feel you were setting up the chief defense, and you wanted to take advantage of it. It just didn't work.
Snap from the 47-yard line. Barrick to punt, gets a rush, gets it off, a line drive.
Wow, nice kick.
Over the head of Fawkes, I believe. Picks it up on the 5-yard line.
Tackle. Great tackle. Hey, that was Szymanski down there, 89. I thought he was going to let that go, and it might have had a chance to get into the end zone. But it was fielded, and Szymanski was down there to make that nice tackle.
I'll tell you what, Jim. Sometimes Szymanski got down there and made an awfully nice tackle for someone in his sides. Teammates came down to celebrate, and I don't know if they caused the injury to him, but he had to come off on the sideline.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Sideline. You don't want to jump on somebody that's already been out a little while due to injuries. He showed good control and good speed getting down there.
Well, Piscataway's in a hole. They're on their own 6. 1st down. They trail 7-0 with 5:35 to go in the 3rd quarter. This is Jackson, and he's got nowhere to go, and there may be a face mask there.
That was Gerbovac, and
we have no call by the official. The Bears are calling for a safety.
He had made some progress up to about the 5-yard line before he was stopped. They just sort of drove him back into the end zone.
And you're seeing that swarming Bear defense, mind you of years gone by.
All right, this is a great position for East Brunswick. Piscataway not really possessing a strong passing game, so East Brunswick can really pin their ears back and go after them.
They're going to give Jackson 2 yards, so let's call it 2nd and 8. Ball at about the, hard for us to tell here, about the 7 or 8 yard line. Jackson again.
Wow.
Knocked back, still on his feet, crosses the 10-yard line.
Okay, good pursuit by the Bears. Once again, though, the initial hit, no one wrapping. And again, Marcus will talk about it.
That's right.
He likes the aggressiveness. He likes the fact that you're shooting in there, but you got to wrap.
Well, this is a key play now in the game for East Brunswick. If they can stop Piscataway on this 3rd and 6, they have a chance to get the ball back in good field position.
Piscataway with no...
Savage is not in there, Phil.
With really no success at passing.
Phillips has the initial hit there.
Wow.
That was Jackson again on his 3rd carry, but a flag is down.
I'll tell you. And if the Chiefs are going to be that predictable, they're going to have a very long night the rest of the night.
What do we got here? Holding on Piscataway. Boy, this is a tough call for Borton. I might be inclined to take this one. I don't know. He can really put him back deep.
It's declined.
Okay.
So it'll bring up 4th down.
They've been retreating anyway, Jim.
Yeah.
Defense has been doing the job. Piscataway being very unimaginative.
All right,
It'll be
David and Phillips go back deep, and I saw Marcus Borden pointing to Phillips, and my guess is he's telling him to field the ball.
not a bad idea. It would also not be a bad idea for the Piscataway center to make a successful snap here, because any error is going to mean a safety.
Folks is the punter. Snap gets there. High kick, straight up actually.
Get away from it.
And East Brunswick will have it at the Piscataway 30-yard line.
At their own 30-yard line. Tremendous field position. And you might want to see, at this point in time, you might see that ball control. You might see a little Varick, a little Phillips, and just take it on in.
They can do it. They've shown that, and I have to think, Phil, that fatigue is going to enter into this game now.
Well, you may be right, and if that's a factor, the Bears are going to have the advantage.
East Brunswick comes out, 1st and 10. Varick fights his way and actually loses yardage.
Well, he would have done, oh, there goes a cramp for Varick now. I'll tell you, it's starting to get a lot of the players.
And the Chief defense as guilty of the Bears of not wrapping those arms. Joe Romelhart, number 74, we finally have that straight, making the initial hit but not wrapping.
That's a 5-yard loss.
Yeah, 2nd and 15. Well, they're going to.
Okay, they bring it back. Oh, where are they bringing
Yeah,
it?
I don't think anyone knows yet. They're going to say he lost about a yard, so let's call it 2nd and 11 from the 31-yard line. Habe
Oh, gosh, nice play.
is swarmed under. There's a loss there, though, that time. And
73.
Carson Baird, number 44. One of those linebackers making a big play there. And Habib looked a little indecisive right there.
Well, I noticed Phillips was trying to apply the block and was just pushed back.
so it brings up 3rd and long, about 3rd and 20.
Now, remember this screenplay that worked for 18 yards.
I'd look for a pass to Varick right here.
Ball at the Piscataway 42. Habe gives it to Shanafi, who fights his way back to close or past the original line of scrimmage. So to bring up
Shanafi
4th
showed
and
good
9.
speed as well.
And they'll go for it.
Shanafi. Jeff, 5'9", 154-pound junior, showing good speed.
Timeout, East Brunswick. They take their second timeout. And they're talking about whether to go for it, or they're asking Varick if he's okay on the sideline.
Well, that's the reason for the timeout. East Brunswick's punter is Jim Varick, and he wasn't ready.
They're going to try a field goal, I believe.
Well, this will be a 45-yard attempt. And Phil, we've seen Varick drive that ball from that distance. So this is not impossible.
That's a fact. Yeah, Varick just in a long line of great kickers for the Bears. As I said, accuracy, he may have a problem, but he certainly has the leg strength.
Well, we'll see.
All right, now Varick is recovering from that cramp.
Well, and the reason for the timeout, Jim, if he did have cramps, they want to make sure that they're all out of his system. After all, he is the kicker.
So with 44 seconds left in the third quarter, Varick is going to try it.
Could we be looking at a fake here, gentlemen?
Habib is the holder.
Boy, the Chiefs are up awfully tight.
Ball is down, the kick is up.
Boy, that's just a little.
And it's good.
Mercy.
I was going to say a little short.
Jim
Boy, he had
Varick.
the distance.
And I'll tell you, that's the value of developing kickers, and they've had some great ones here that come to mind. Danny Levine, Josh Miller, Ian Kearns. And with that kick,
well, that ties the third longest kick in East Brunswick history by Dan Levine back in 1988, 45 yards.
And
you know, check that. That ball was marked at the 46-yard line. I was watching that. We'll have to look at it. I think that's a 46-yarder.
Yeah, it may have been a 46-yarder, Jim. You might be right on that.
And if it is, he does now move into the third position for longest field goal.
And what a valuable weapon to have when you have a good, solid kicker. And East Brunswick, as we pointed out, has been noted over the years of developing nothing but solid kickers.
And the other thing that does, it serves notices to the other coaches in the GMC about East Brunswick's kicking game. But we'll call it a 46-yarder by Varick, puts East Brunswick up on top 10-0 with 37 seconds remaining, and he kicks off a low liner, and Savage is back in the game for Piscataway.
And the Bears left a little soon.
I want to reiterate again, once again, that fine center snap. You can't have a successful field goal without a good center snap, and it was right there.
Well, you got to have the good center snap, and you got to have the holder to put it down, and then you got to have the kicker to kick it. So it's working together.
I mentioned that, Phil, because it's been a liability for East Brunswick in the past.
I hear you.
But hey, it also makes the score 10-0, which at the way this game is going is very, very important points.
So East Brunswick will be penalized 5 yards, and Varick will re-kick. And a liner this time again. Savage at about the 15-yard line. Goes right up the middle.
It's Phillips that wraps him up.
And he crosses the 35 to about the 36, and that's where Piscataway will start on offense. 30 seconds remaining, third quarter.
And once again, if you're a Chief fan, you got to look for something a little bit different now. I don't know if they're capable of doing anything different, but unless they're able to just break one to the outside, which we've only seen one, and that was called back due to a penalty, but otherwise they've been rather predictable.
Schultz rather on the pitch to Savage.
He's out there.
And Savage carries it into East Brunswick territory, close to the 40-yard line.
No, Hendricks was the one that was able to stop Savage.
At the 37-yard line.
So no signs of cramps affecting him there, Phil.
Not at all. Chris Hendricks, again, coming in to make a nice tackle. Otherwise, Mr. Savage might have picked up more yardage.
First down, moves the ball into East Brunswick territory. It'll be marked at the 37-yard line.
37-yard line, where it'll be 1st and 10 for the Chiefs.
So Piscataway with some glimmers of offense. And this should be the last play of the quarter. As Jackson gets it, has the outside, still on his feet, to the 20,
Wow.
and inside the 20. And he's got a cramp on his side as he's tackled there.
I'll tell you, Eric Jackson with some nice running there. Again, not the best of tackling by the Bears. And that Jackson run was set up by the Savage run. Being concerned about the outside led to the run-off tackle there, and Jackson picked up good yardage.
Well, that'll be the last play of the third quarter as they move to the fourth and final quarter here at J. Doyle Field. The Bears are on top 10-0. And they're giving some attention to Jackson on the sideline. And you can see him at the bottom right corner of your screen. Phil Hostler there helping.
And John, you said you think it's a cramp?
The way he's being attended to, they're trying to extend the legs.
And boy, anyone who's ever played any sport and had a leg cramp, you know how painful they can be and debilitate immediately. Send you right to the ground.
Did someone tell you about it, John? It's only the first game.
I know, I'm going to mark that down too, Phil.
And you can see Jackson hobbling across the field. Both times, Piscataway got their long yardage on outside plays. East Brunswick's going to have to adjust now.
Well, actually, that wasn't an outside play. That was Jackson going in through the interior part of the line there. As I said, that was set up with being concerned about the outside play. The Bears have done a very good job of containing Savage on the outside runs. As I mentioned before, only the one that was called back, and the play before Jackson just picked up this good yardage here. So, but when he does go to the outside, they got to respect it. As far as Schultz keeping the ball, I don't know if I would concern myself. He doesn't look like a tremendous runner or anything. I'd concern myself with that initial dive by the up back and trying to stop that outside run.
Piscataway has it 1st and 10 on the East Brunswick 19. Quick pitch. This is Savage. He's going to put his head down and bully forward.
Boy,
and he gets close to the 15.
He has nice acceleration.
He has nice acceleration, and it's a little bit of heart too. And that's what I'm talking about. If there's sometimes when there's no hole there and you're going like that, you got to put your head down and pick up what you can. And in that case, he picked up a good 4 yards.
Ball spotted at the East Brunswick 15. 4-yard pickup. Let's call it 2nd and about 6. Fourth and final quarter here from J. Doyle Stadium. Bears on top 10-0. But Piscataway looking to get the first points of the game on the board. Inside handoff to Jackson's replacement. And I didn't get a number. Did you get a number on that?
Yes,
Jim?
that was number 44 carrying the ball for Piscataway.
That's Carson Baird.
Fine linebacker, finally getting some time in the backfield there. Did not pick up much, however, about a yard.
And this is a big play for Piscataway. They need to get at least close to that first down marker.
3rd and about 5. Ball sitting at the 13-yard line of East Brunswick.
If they have any kind of pass, Jim, I mean,
I don't think they're going to put it up. I really don't.
It would be a total surprise.
Chiefs will stay with that I formation. They've used it all game long. A little counter move with Savage, but nowhere close to the first down.
Dumas comes in on that one. Paul Dumas. Good recovery. East Brunswick is really quick off that line.
They're quick off that line, and
They're basically beating Piscataway to the punch.
they're beating Piscataway to the punch, but they have a good hunch about what they're going to do. Piscataway,
Yep.
with that I formation, is rather predictable. No surprises.
Well, no surprise here. They're going to go for it on 4th down, 4th and a long 4.
And I'll tell you what, I think they're going to run it. East Brunswick should be ready for the run.
Well, they have 2 receivers spread out to the left here.
Ball at about the 11-yard line of East Brunswick. Schultz pitches to Savage. He's got the first down. He's going to go in the end zone. He scores. Good cutback by Savage and puts Piscataway on the board.
And John, that's exactly what it was. It was a cutback. Went towards the outside. Outside was contained. He cut inside the would-be tackler and took it in. Just a fine run by Savage. I've been hammering them about their predictability, but it paid off for him right there.
Right, and it also shows how effective Miles Savage is with the ball. Even with East Brunswick half expecting the run, all you have to do is give Miles Savage some open field and the ball, and he has a good chance of taking it.
All right, they'll go for the extra point. And Linder, number 50, will try to make the conversion. Low snap, the ball is down. Linder partially blocked, but does it go over? And it does.
Wow.
Wow.
And so we have a 10-7 game. 9:33 remaining.
Normally you have an official by the goalpost there that sort of gives the sign, and
Nobody did, huh?
nobody did. The official from the middle of the field gave the sign. Interesting.
Well, East Brunswick's now going to have to suck it up and utilize some of that ball control that they showed during the first half. 9:33, still plenty of time.
9:33, but it's got to be a lift to the Chiefs. Chiefs have been churning along, haven't had much happen, and finally scored here. It's got to pump them up a little bit. The Bears have to do some ball control of their own. To hold that ball a while themselves and be prepared to stop the Chiefs once they get it.
Now, East Brunswick now with 4 deep backs here. Phillips and Barrack back at the 5-yard line. Awful deep.
Awful deep for this
Considering,
kicker. This
the
kicker,
kicker, yeah.
right? He hasn't shown the ability to put the ball down there too far at all.
All right, Linder puts a foot on it. And don't you know he gets it out there, this time to Phillips at the 10.
And here's a wedge.
Ooh.
And Phillips dives to the 30.
He flew through to the 30.
And let's see if that player gets up from Piscataway. That was quite a hit.
And you're right, John. Just as soon as we were talking about the kicker, and he finally put a foot into one. So the Bears doing well to stay back for it.
All right, Habib will come out, give the play to the Bears on offense. They're still in the lead, 10-7, clock down to 9-10. They go to the I formation. Phillips slips, so Habib has to carry it himself, and there's a loss.
That's just a broken play. Habib turned to hand the ball to the back. The back had gone by the other way. Miscommunication.
Loss of about 5 yards, so we'll call it 2nd and 15.
Well, that hurts for a number of reasons. It forces East Brunswick now to get into a passing situation. They haven't been making that big long pass, which is what they're going to need now to get this first down. They're 16 yards.
Ball at the East Brunswick 25. Barrick inside. He'll pick up 5. Gets back close to the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 3rd and 10.
And Rodney West, number 10, one of those linebackers, laying a hit on Barrick.
Barrick will come out and take a rest.
He's cramping up.
He's cramping up, right.
He's been playing offense and defense the entire game, as well as kicking.
Shanaffy in his position.
Habib looking to his right and throws behind Shanaffy.
That's the second time tonight that's happened where Shanaffy has been open and the ball is thrown slightly behind him.
And the referee got involved in the play.
And that's Red Lazowitz. You don't want to hurt that fella. As I said, he's the dean of coaches for Middlesex County. He's been around for a number of years and always does a fine job. And we have the trainer taking a look at Red right now, and we certainly hope he's okay.
Well, one thing East Brunswick didn't want to do is go 3 and out. And that's what happened here. And so Varick will come on to punt. 7:51 remaining in the game. Plenty of time for Piscataway, even with their ground attack.
They're still looking him over. Well, if anything, the players are getting a breather now.
Savage will go back deep, Savage rather, for Piscataway.
Boy, I'll tell you what, this is a danger zone now for East Brunswick. They really don't want to punt the ball to Miles Savage, and they don't have to.
Varick will look to put a good foot into this one. Pin Piscataway back in their territory, and he gets off a poor kick off the side of his foot.
However,
good roll though, and that'll go to the Piscataway 26-yard line.
And Jim Varick, you got to give a lot of credit. You've got to remember, he just walked off with a cramp. He doesn't appear to be feeling any better, yet he went out there and put that punt up. He still seems to be limping somewhat a little bit, as if he might be cramping up. Yet he gave an excellent effort.
Yeah, I was going to say, and still staying in the game. Phil, could that be a liability for the Bears, seeing as though Savage has that outside and running ability?
Well, sometimes a limp like that is just a limp like that. When the adrenaline gets going and when you have to do it, you can make the play.
And we can't be lulled into sleep here. This is a game. 10-7 is our score. Bears by 3. Piscataway's got their running game going. And Jackson's back in.
And Varick is the one that makes the tackle behind the line of scrimmage.
That's what I'm talking about.
Loss on that play.
It's a quick moving second half.
And they're going to say that Jackson got back to the line of scrimmage, so we'll call it 2nd and 10. The ball's still at the Piscataway 26-yard line. 7 minutes remaining in the game. The Chiefs trail 10-7. Schultz out to Savage. No way to go. We'll cut back across. Holheim can't make the play, and Savage still on his feet.
Wow.
And gets out close to the 35-yard line.
Well, I'll tell you what, I thought that was a loss for sure. But boy, did he turn it on there and get to the right side.
I thought it would be something else, because he had the team coming one way and cut back across the grain, and what it's about is getting out there and turning the corner.
And he manages to get 4 yards on that.
Close to 5 yards, made something out of nothing. So it's 3rd and 5.
And this is the biggest play of the game so far now. If they can stop them, they're going to force Piscataway to punt. Defense has to get up for this play.
They'll put folks in motion. Schultz going to put it up in the air. Over in the middle, he's got his man, and I think he's got the first down.
No way,
No, he's short. I'm sorry. I'm looking at the mark.
I'll tell
down
you,
marker.
Why pass, Phil?
Well, why pass like that is the question. If you're going, you got to at least get to the first down markers if you're going to try to try a pass there.
Well, the fact of the matter is, if Piscataway wants to get somebody beyond the first down marker, it's got to take time, and the quarterback just does not have enough time to set.
Well,
they're just storming in on him every time.
You got to give that Bear defense some credit there. They must have had about 4 tacklers right there on the receiver.
And that was a key sequence.
So Piscataway will be forced to punt. And East Brunswick should have it in good field position. High snap. No problem, however. Decent punt this time for Piscataway. Phillips at his own 35 and is driven back to about the 32.
Well, I'm kind of glad he caught it, because if that wasn't caught, that would have bounded about 20 yards.
And so the Bears will go back on offense with 5:44 remaining.
Okay, the Bears, if you're the Bears, you want to control that ball. You want to drive right down the field. You don't want any mistakes. You want to maintain that ball, eat up some clock as you go.
They would like to get at least 1 first down.
Clock is running. Bib gives it to Phillips, left side. Breaks one tackle, still on his feet, and he'll pick up a couple.
Does he go out of bounds?
And he did.
No, clock's still running?
Clock stopped.
Oh, good Lord. Got to have the presence of mind to know what the situation is and not get out of bounds.
Well, there are 5 minutes and 17 seconds left, Jim, so young players are still playing. They're playing to score.
Second and about 8. Shanapy trips, actually, after taking the handoff.
Just lost his footing.
So puts East Brunswick in a 3rd and 8 situation.
And we talked about wanting to eat some time off the clock, but maintaining control of the ball. And it's a big down here. You want to pick up this all-important first down. You don't want to have to punt and give that ball back to the Chiefs.
Ball at the East Brunswick 36-yard line. Inside goes Shanapy. He gets to the 40, but he's going to be short of the first.
And East Brunswick should take its time.
Okay, consecutive possessions where the Bears have done 3 plays and seemingly have to punt.
All right, the clock stops because of cramping.
By a player, not by the clock.
You got to wonder. Well, this obviously works to the advantage of Piscataway.
You're right. They got 4:23. They're going to get the ball back.
All right, now 44 was the one that cramped up, and should the clock be started right now? East Brunswick should take its time.
Barrick will go back, as will Savage for Piscataway. Good snap. Varick gets off a beauty.
Boy, he booms it.
Savage will field it at his own 19. Kind of hesitates, and now he's going to try to squeeze his way through a number of Bear tacklers and gets up around the 25-yard line.
A lot of hesitation going on. Phillips on the previous punt to him sort of hesitated. And then you see Savage there trying to get the lay of the land, but hesitated and waited till the tacklers got there.
Plenty of time, 3:52.
Get that ball, you got to move.
Has Piscataway used any timeouts? I don't think so.
East Brunswick has used 2. I think Piscataway has all 3 of theirs. 10-7 is our score. Bears on top by 3. 3:45 remaining in the game.
And the clock starts to run.
Savage takes the pitch deep in the backfield. Drags one East Brunswick player for about 7 yards. Phil, I think it's going to be Savage left, Savage right.
I think you may see a little bit of Jackson, but I think it's Jackson and Savage. I think, again, if Schultz does run, he's not too swift of foot. He will pick up a couple yards, so you got to guard against the pitch.
And guys, Savage has just left the game. He's headed toward the bench. I don't know what happened, whether it's just a temporary injury or what, but he's just sort of walking around.
Well, he picked up 8 yards on that carry. 2nd and 2. This is Jackson. Jackson's got the first down.
Wow.
He's still on his feet.
Wow.
And he drops the ball. I think Piscataway still has it.
Wow.
Boy, Jackson almost broke that one.
You're talking about opportunities and missed opportunities. Fine effort by Eric Jackson there. Picking up that all-important first down. Did fumble the ball, however, and Piscataway player just happened to be in the area, as did a Bear player.
Phil, you got to catch Jackson in the first 1 or 2 steps, because once he gets ahead of steam, he's tough to bring down.
He gets stronger, seemingly.
Miles Savage sitting on the bench for Piscataway.
First down for Piscataway. The ball at their own 46-yard line. 2:40 remaining. Schultz quickly. This is West. West still on his feet. He cuts back.
He's going to go all the way.
There's no one going to touch him.
Wow, that looked like a clip.
It looked like a clip, and there was no call.
Number 23, Marty Lucarelli's yelling, "Where's the flag?" He felt he was clipped in the back there. No flag whatsoever.
And Jimmy, you called it before, of that long play from scrimmage.
And I'll tell you, Mr. West just went east and scored a big touchdown.
53 yards.
Rodney West, 5'10", 155-pound senior. Ordinarily plays as a linebacker for the defense with Savage out. Took the place of Savage, took the pitch, cut up the field, and came in with probably the biggest run of his career.
In a case where we pointed out in the pregame where the lack of speed in the East Brunswick secondary became a liability on that play. Because once he broke into the secondary, there's no one who was going to catch him.
Once he broke into the secondary, and we talked about there's only two things the Bears had to guard against, and that was Eric Jackson and the pitch. The quarterback not doing much of anything. This time the pitch caught him.
So that makes it 13-10 now. Piscataway on top by 3 as Linder will try to make it a 14-10 game. And the crowd has become very quiet on the East Brunswick side. Snap there, Linder's kick. No good, wide right. And that could be a big point with Varick's foot.
Awfully big point, I tell you.
Gives East Brunswick now the opportunity at least to tie the game without having to go for a touchdown.
Well, we had mentioned before that East Brunswick had used 2 of its timeouts, so they're down to 1, so we'll have to keep that in mind.
2:26 remaining in this game. Piscataway on top, 13-10, as West goes 54 yards to put the Chiefs on top for the first time tonight.
And we've talked about it, the onus of the Bears from the past, the big play, and the big play which started out as a little play ended up into a big play, and has made the difference makes the difference right now. But the Bears have the ability. The Bears certainly have the ability to score from here. Some of the stuff some of the rollout passes that I've seen them do earlier, like throwing to the backs, they haven't shown a whole lot of that. They still have that in their arsenal, and they just got to have resolve to move it down the field.
Well, again, depending where East Brunswick fields this ball and what kind of field position they get will dictate their offensive scheme in this last 2 minutes.
That's right. They really do need to advance the ball well on this one.
Linder, a good kick.
That's Varick.
Varick at the zone 10. And he gets across the 30 to about the 31. And East Brunswick now will have 2 minutes and 19 seconds to get at least within field goal range. So there's plenty of time, but remember, they are working with only 1 timeout remaining.
And there goes the clock.
And you'll see a lot of plays on the first cut.
Well, they go shotgun, 3 receivers to the right. David flagged down.
Yeah, whoa. Wow.
And thrown over Varick's head.
Center snap was a little delayed.
No flag, I'm sorry.
Okay, at least they're doing what I talked about, trying to get the balls to their backs coming out of the backfield and hoping that they can break into something.
1:58 remaining. Second and 10.
Last 7 passes have fallen incomplete.
He'll go again to the right side. Kohlheim has it, first down into Chiefs territory.
And we said it before, Greg Kohlheim with the fine catch, showing it earlier in the game, and comes back with the big catch right here.
Timeout, Piscataway.
Piscataway calls timeout.
And if you're the Bears, you gotta like that. Of course, the Chiefs calling timeout to make some defensive adjustments of their own, but a big break for the Bears.
So this is getting interesting with 1:51 remaining. Ball is on the Piscataway 46-yard line. Bears have it 1st and 10.
Well, now you've got some room to work with. You can actually, you're working in the Piscataway part of the field here, and it allows you to do some things here. 1:51 left. And with the timeout, Borden now is able to call a number of plays in the huddle, and that's key.
And Marcus Borden isn't thinking field goal. If it should come to that, naturally he'll use it. But Marcus Borden is thinking touchdown. He wants to win this game.
I would definitely concur with you on that one, Phil. Marcus has never been one to settle for a tie.
All right, here we go. Clock will start as soon as the official blows the whistle. East Brunswick will pull 4 receivers to the left this time. Maybe will look right, then goes back to his left. Looking down the middle, he's got Colheim. It's almost intercepted.
I'll tell you, two defenders right there on Colheim, and Bears were fortunate that it wasn't intercepted. It would have been a heartbreaker there.
So you got to work a different pattern off that formation.
That's the deep one, however.
Sure.
We weren't sure he could throw that long, but
well, the thing is, Piscataway is playing a semi-prevent here, and that means that some of the open in the middle there, they should be open.
you got to throw under.
1:44 remaining, 2nd and 10. Same formation to the left. Habib will be sacked, however, and that's going to force East Brunswick to use a timeout, I would think.
There goes the clock.
And I'll tell you, the big players make the big plays. Joel Romelhart coming up with an awfully big tackle right there.
And East Brunswick will take their last timeout with 1:29 remaining. Bears trailing 13-10. And boy, what a change of events here.
Well, it seems that it's the East Brunswick team that's had some of the breakdowns that we thought might happen with Piscataway. Piscataway has done nothing fancy except come at them with their speed, and they got out there, they got to the outside, and scored the 2 touchdowns, and East Brunswick now is in the position of having to play catch up.
Well, Joe Caragna, I guess you got to give him some credit. We've been harping on their predictability, but he stayed with what they were able to do, didn't try to work outside of himself, and basically it was that dive in the pitch and chipped away until they broke something, and they find themselves in the lead at this point of the game here. As for the Bears, Bears are certainly going to try to pull out something. They got trips or quadruples to the left, and
5 receivers to the left side. Habib will roll to the left. Plants, throws. He's got a man open. Szymanski.
And he's got the first.
I'll tell you, it's close, Jim.
Well, they still have another down to go, though.
Very close.
Question is, was he out of bounds?
And this could stop the clock just to measure, which could be East Brunswick should be ready.
And quite honestly, that clock was stopped way before the official.
Wow, and it's not a first down, they're saying.
No, it's 4th
Wow.
and
All right.
inches.
They're going to have to use it down here. And
They got to pick up the first down.
That's
what
right.
they gotta do.
correct.
They got to get the first down.
This is it right here.
Habib to Varick.
Did he
I
get
don't
it?
know.
Let's
I
see where
don't
the
know.
spot is.
It's awfully close.
Now you see where they marked it out?
Awfully close.
It wasn't his forward penetration. It's where he went out of bounds.
Let's see.
Let's see where they put it down.
This is a wrong mark.
This,
He had gone much more further than what they were giving him credit for. He was driven out of bounds, but he had advanced more.
an all-important mark right here. And
There we go. They're going to
gonna
bring the chains across.
I'll tell you.
With a minute 12.
Varick was up to the 35-yard line.
And they're moving the East Brunswick team aside. They're going to move the Piscataway team aside as they bring the chains out.
I think it's awfully close, gentlemen. Awfully close. Too close to call.
I don't think he made it.
We're going to be obscured a little bit by the East Brunswick players on the sideline, so we'll have to wait for the official,
Ooh, mercy.
some indication from the official.
Mercy.
They're going to stretch those chains.
Oh,
They
wow.
held.
Wow.
And on the spot, the
Wow.
ball goes over to Piscataway.
And again, I have to tell you, Varick's forward motion had him up by the 35-yard line.
I'm going to say someone forgot it's 4th and inches.
That's another thought. Why were they on the throw?
It's not 4th and 5, 4th and inches.
It was 4th and inches there. Time was being a factor. Of course, if they,
Well,
a little surprised myself.
we can talk
But they
a lot
had it
here.
They had it going. They were passing the ball, short passes, picking up yardage there. Jimmy felt that the
The forward motion was still
Forward
about the
motion was
35.
sufficient.
Yeah,
and if that was the case, they had the first. But
well, East Brunswick still has a minute 12 to play defense and to try to get that ball back.
East Brunswick has a minute 12 with no timeouts, John, and
well, all they have to do is fall on the ball
all
now.
intents and purposes is done right. And the shame of it, I think, is that the Bears have outplayed the Chiefs. The Chiefs have had
just that one spurt in the fourth quarter resulting in 2 touchdowns, a couple of breakdowns there, allowing for the long runs. And it's a tough way to open up a season. I guess Piscataway called a timeout on this one.
And Piscataway will move into that fumble-proof offensive scheme where the quarterback will just go down on one knee. And you got to watch here that tempers don't get out of hand.
Ooh, mercy.
Clock is running. East Brunswick cannot stop it.
It'll be second down and about 12.
Actually, field position and is really not a factor at this point. And that clock is ticking down to 40 seconds. That's certainly a surprise to everyone here, because as Phil pointed out, Piscataway has been outplayed tonight.
Ball is marked back at the 32-yard line.
Inside 20 seconds.
And I don't think they're going to run a play, are they?
I don't really think they need to.
Thank you very much.
And I think for the
Gonna do
most
it.
part, everyone here is somewhat stunned.
I think people are
They
stunned.
are stunned. This is a bitter one to take for East Brunswick.
And that'll do it. It's over. Piscataway wins it 13-10.
Boy, you can see by the pace of the East Brunswick players as they
Once again,
walk, and Piscataway.
Once again, Marcus Borden right up front, win or lose. And I'll tell you, it has to be a painful one, gentlemen.
Oh, what do you say to your players, Phil, after a game like this?
I don't know. I had the experience this year as a Little League coach, coaching a team. And when you know your team's better and your team can play better because you prepared them better, and somehow it just doesn't come together, it's a bad feeling.
Right.
Sometimes you search for words to say to them, and you search for words to tell yourself. But Marcus Borden will go back to the drawing board. As I pointed out, they played well enough to win. A couple plays for the Chiefs turned out to be the difference. And one big play by a substitute running back, not Savage, but by Mr. West. Rodney West came in, and that turned out to be the big difference.
Right, and next week now, East Brunswick will have to go to Edison and meet the Eagles. That'll be the opening game for Edison.
Well, certainly, I think, unlike last year where after a first couple games, you said, where do we go from here? I think there's a lot to be proud of if you're Marcus Borden and his staff. Certainly the defeat is disappointing, but you've got to be pleased with the way that team played, the way the offense and defense have played, the speed, the special teams. A break here didn't go East Brunswick's way, but there's a lot to build on. They come up with Edison next week, and then the week after is Madison Central. So you've got to lick your wounds here, get it over with tonight, and get ready, because you're into the heart of the schedule. A tough one to lose, though, as the East Brunswick Bears gather under the goalposts. The final here from J. Doyle Field is East Brunswick 10, Piscataway 13. And that's about all we can say. It's kind of a shocker. East Brunswick outplaying Piscataway for almost the entire game, and it was really only into the fourth quarter that Piscataway came to life with that running game. And West broke one for 54 yards that really was the damage to the Bears. So for Phil Hill and Jim Allinder, I'm John Meggiolaro saying thanks for being with us.